Hello, if you're watching this video, that means that you have either purchased waist beads from me, another seller, or maybe made your waist beads at home and you're not quite sure on how to get them tied on securely. Well, you're in the right spot, girl. I'm gonna get you together. So before we get into this video, you are going to need a pair of scissors to tie on your waist beads. I also recommend looking in a mirror, so maybe doing this in a bathroom, or if you just have a mirror, a full-size mirror that you can look in so you can see exactly, where your beads are going to be placed. Also, you can make an experience out of it. So usually, when the kids are sleeping, if you have kids, when you have a long time, maybe have a glass of wine, listen to some music, light a candle, but really try to make an experience in a moment out of it, because it is, girl. So if you purchase waist beads from me, you already know they're gonna come in a box. But either way, you're gonna have your waist beads. If you ordered them and if they're not custom to your waist, they're gonna come on a string that is bigger than your waist, which means you're gonna have excess beads. So the first thing you wanna do when you get your waist beads is push all of the beads towards the middle. Now you're getting ready to see exactly where you want your beads placed. Keep in mind, the higher you tie your beads, the more they're going to hold you accountable as far as eating, dieting, and then the lower you tie them, the more grace they'll give you. This is more for like manifestation or womb energy or aesthetics. The beads that I'm tying today are actually going to be accountability beads. So I am going to tie them slightly above my last set of accountability beads. You want to mark an X like this. You see, I haven't done anything with my beads. And then once you find a spot that you like or that you think will work, you can kind of play with it. And then you want to get the beads, as you can see, just lock them in. So I just scooted the beads down a little bit. Rather, this is where I want to tie my beads. And then you're pushing the beads down. With accountability beads, you don't want to make them too tight. You still want to give yourself grace for, just in case you do eat a little bit, or you're in a cycle, or you're bloating. You want to give yourself grace. You don't want to tie on your beads and tie them too tight to where they are unbearable, and then you have to end up cutting them off. And a good rule of thumb is to make sure that you can fit like 3 fingers through your waist beads. Some people even like to, try sitting and standing up before they tie them, just to make sure that they aren't too tight. All right, so we have figured out the placement of the bead. We figured out exactly where we want the beads to sit on our waist. And now we're at the fun part, which is actually tying on the bead, right? So let's get into it. Take both sides of your waist bead strings and you want to pull them. And then you're just going to do a regular loop over. So you're going to take this and loop it over once. And pull. Make sure the whole time you're tying your beads that you're keeping them secure. You don't want any gaps in between your beads because it may cause pinching. So you want to make sure the whole time that you are handling the beads very tightly. And you also don't want to tie and have like extra string showing. So this whole time that you're tying, you're making sure that this is staying put. These beads aren't moving. So then you're going to do just the classic tying, which is looping over. I'm going to take this and pull it through. And the whole time I'm doing this, I'm holding this part securely. And you want to tie. And with every knot that you make, you honestly want to pull as hard as you can to make sure that that knot cannot. But we're going to do one more knot just with a different angle so you guys can really see, for those who may still be a bit confused. So you're going to take one string and loop it under, pull it through. Then you're going to do a regular tie like you're tying a shoe string and pull it through. pulling it as hard as you can. The last thing is to cut off the excess string, and you want to cut as close to the knot as possible, but of course not cutting on the knot, because if you cut on the knot, it could unravel and undo all of the hard work that we just did with tying them. Before cutting the waist beads, I do recommend clients to do like a positive affirmation, maybe take a few deep breaths, or even have a moment of silence. Like I said again, just to make it a more spiritual experience. And now we are going to cut our excess strand. Some people go back in with a lighter and just burn off the extra little strings. I'm not going to do that. But we do twist our beads so that the front of the beads can show. And then there you have it. My name is Denisha. I'm owner of The Waist Goddess, where I specialize in luxury waist beads. I am going to leave the link to my online collection in the description box. And for all the ladies that watched today, I pray that you were able to get your beads tied on. I hope that they bring you joy and happiness and peace. Thank you for watching today, and have a good rest of your day.